Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab that coffee. I have seltzer. I needed a cold drink. Maybe a stick stack or two. And let's get into it, okay? So we've got a lot to talk about, so you're going to want to get comfortable. You're going to need a snick snack, definitely. Snick snack. Let's play it safe. Let's play it healthy. Let's get some fruit, maybe a yogurt, okay? And let's get into it. So, all right. The first thing that we really do need to talk about today, okay, that there could be a grid failure this summer, okay? And it is time to prepare for that, okay? So the experts are warning that a grid failure could come to Texas and the Midwest and the Western U.S. this summer, okay? Now, this organization, okay, that these experts are coming from, they assess electric reliability. And they said that there is a high risk of electricity shortages. So why not? I mean, I know a lot of us are prepared for something like that, but why not do a little bit extra? You know what I mean? Just a little bit extra. If you have anything solar, like lights, fans, USB, anything, a solar generator, a generator, just in general. Okay, anything. Your jackeries. Let's make sure everything is in proper working order. Okay. Let's stock up on some more water so we can stay hydrated. Okay. But Texas also gets hit with hurricanes. So up your hurricane preps, okay, with your batteries, your flashlights. If you have not gotten a water bob yet, I would suggest you get a water bob, okay? Get your non-perishables. Get everything that you would normally get for your hurricane preps and amp it up just a little bit, okay? Because that's going to help you with a grid failure. Okay, your hurricane preps will help you with a grid failure. It really will. Now, the U.S. West and Midwest could be facing grid failures this summer. And this is according to a summer reliability assessment by the North American Electric Reliability Corporation. In its seasonal reliability assessment for the summer of 2022, the nonprofit corporation, which sets regulatory standards for the U.S. grid operators, they have warned that the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, or MISO, M-I-S-O, is at a very high risk of its energy reserves failing short of its normal energy needs. Now, MISO provides energy transmission for the Midwest, for Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and the western U.S. Meanwhile, are at elevated risks, okay, of seeing grid shortages should its power need peak beyond normal volume, shall we say, according to this report. Now, I take it because we've all been seeing these record high temperatures. We've been seeing them here too. 112, 113, 115 degrees. And we just now got into summer. So can you imagine what July and August are going to be like? Okay. So in the link that I'm going to be putting in the description box below for you so you can have your resources, okay, it's going to have a map of the U.S., okay, and it's going to say high, elevated, low for the grid downs, okay. Now the high is like a red, like a brick red color. The elevated is orange and the low is gray. So the elevated, there's more elevated than there is high, okay, and there's some of the smaller states are in the low, okay. So just make sure you fill in your gaps, plant a garden, okay, so you can have your food constantly going, okay. Get to know local farmers, okay, because we could be looking at a dangerous breaking point this summer, okay. Grid failure in the summer means no refrigeration, even for grocery stores. Without refrigeration, the food crisis gets even worse, okay. Something else for those who can't afford it, stock up on long-lasting emergency foods, okay. A lot of us do August farms, okay. So because a lot of the emergency food, it's good for 25, 30 years, all right. So you know, this is something that is very serious, all right. Now onto this. This was brought to my attention, and this is something that I never thought I would ever see, and I mean ever. This is another map, okay, and this was brought to my attention by a community member, and she said, I found a website that shows where all of the planned protests are going to be across the country. It's only the planned ones. And I went on the website. You don't have to register or anything to see what's going on. And it says, check the map for action near you. Seriously. The amount that it's California, along the Gulf Coast, like Florida and all that, it's crazy. And then up by New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. When you see this, you're going to be like, are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Let me see. Now I can't even, I'm trying to zoom in. Yeah, New York. Oh, yeah, right there in Atlantic City, where I'm from. Yay! Let me go down here to Florida. Okay, so Orlando, Miami, Cape Coral, Tampa. Yay! Bradenton, Tallahassee, Crestview, New Orleans, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Texarkana. Does that say Tyler? The green dot is right over the name. Evansville, Bloomington, Louisville, Cincinnati, Fort Wayne, Burlington, Davenport, Chicago, Detroit, Scranton, Newark. Well, Pittsburgh, Akron, Rochester, Burlington, Portland, Augusta, not Georgia, up by Bangor. Hang on. I'm trying to get over there. Darn it, come on. Medford, San Francisco, San Jose, Bakersfield, Tijuana, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Las Vegas. Huh. Unbelievable. So yeah, make sure you check that out so you know where to stay away from. So on to this. This is nuts. Nestle, the CEO said, because he has a right to say this, I guess, humans don't have a right to water. It should be privatized and controlled. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Mr. Elite, Mr. Sister. Who the hell are you? As you know, you are no doubt aware, okay, the global elite, they're making moves to have people own nothing and be happy, okay? These bastards. The world will be controlled by an authoritarian one-world government, and humanity, according to Klaus, you know, the WEF will be enslaved in a totalitarian system featuring mass surveillance, mandatory arm candies, and desperate servitude. And making matters even worse, the global elite are boasting about their plans for humanity in advance. Scumbags. And they openly brag, okay, about the organization and their ability to infiltrate governments across the globe. At the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics, they discussed how the WEF's modus operandi is to penetrate governments by installing its young global leaders. Oh, gee whiz. And in recent years, we have seen this modus operandi play out, and the WEF has infiltrated governments across the world with every left-wing voting nation firmly under their control. You know, and make no mistake, okay, these young global leaders, yeah, including like Trudeau, okay, Macron, Ardern, who are working fervently to roll out the agenda of the global elite, okay. Now, there was a video that came out with Peter Brabeck, Letmathe, am I saying that right? Letmathe, and he said that water is not a human right. It must be privatized and controlled by the elites. Well, you know what? This is seltzer water. So here's to you. Oink, oink, my bastard. You know, it's like, you know, he's the chairman of one of the biggest corporations and the largest food product manufacturer in the world, and he wants corporations to own all the water on the planet, and no one should be allowed to have access to it unless they pay for it. You know what? I pay my water bill every single month. So, guess what? All right? I pay for this. So, bite it. All right? Bite it. You're an ass. You're an ass, and I don't believe that you should be speaking, you worthless eater. Okay? Not unless you pay for the words that come out of your mouth, you worthless eater. Okay? How's that? Make you feel any better about yourself? So, on to this. This pissed me off. There was a school that closed down in 2019. And when students went to this school, their parents paid a what do you want to call it? like a tuition for their kids to go to school, and it cost them $42,000 a year. All right. Well, now Potato, he signed a 5-year lease for this school to reopen, but he's housing illegal children at this school, and this school is literally luxury. Okay. It's a private school. It's a huge campus in North Carolina. It was known as the American Hebrew Academy. It's in Greensboro. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing, is it not? It's disgusting. Now, on to this. You all know that we are a military and law enforcement family. My son is a Marine. Hoorah! But now, the Army, okay, my nephew Colin, he's in the Army. He's a graduate of West Point. But now the Army, they are doing something that is a little surprising. I will say that. New recruits are no longer required to have a high school diploma or even a GED in order to join the Army. Yeah. What's that tell you? Huh? I bet you the Marines wouldn't let that fly. Okay? So that link will be in the description box below. That upset me. That upset me. All right? So I got 2 more things that I want to talk about. These are 2 emails that came in. This email came in and it said, I don't normally do posts like this, but I feel there's a need to be awareness of what's going on in the Virginia Army National Guard. More military stuff. I know a lot of people are up in arms about RVW and a woman's right about their choices with their body. What about everyone's right to choose about what's best for their body? As of June 30th, 2022, any service member who does not get the arm candy will be processed for discharge to include a bar to reenlistment. Oh, so is that why the Army says you no longer have to have a high school diploma or GED? Is this how they're going to get people to get more arm candy? Less of a requirement, more arm candy recipients. Gee whiz. So people have been directed to turn off pay for the service members who are in a pay status on July 1st. Many units are awaiting further guidance on how to process these service members. As of this moment, it has all been verbal guidance. There has not been an official document for the procedure disseminated. These soldiers have already been discriminated against by not being allowed to travel, even for professional development schools that are needed for advancement. They have been directed to turn in their equipment in preparation for discharge. Now, when this first all came about, okay, and it was mandated, if they didn't want it, they were given dishonorable discharge. And then it came down that said, that's not right, you can't do that. And it was switched to honorable discharge. So now they're switching it back. The exemption matrix leads back to refusal and discharge if a medical exemption or religious exemption is denied. Of course they're going to deny it. Of course they are. Remember, these are the soldiers that get called up to remove trees and clear roadways after devastating storms. The ones to bring a boat to your door to rescue you when it floods. Even to take someone to the hospital in a major snowstorm. Since when does chain of command get given authority to determine if a religious exemption is valid? They tried it with that one over there with Homeland Security. They're still trying to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the chaplain makes the determination decision, and the COC just documents it. AR 600-20 outlines specific guidance. And yes, the military can make approved and licensed arm candy mandatory for anyone who signed their contract. Yes, there is House Resolution 687 that states any service member that is adversely treated is authorized to be reinstated. But what about in the meantime, when all these soldiers flood the employment market, can't get veteran preference for employment, can't utilize their GI Bills that they have dedicated a chunk of their life to earning, won't be considered for a loan through the VA first-time homebuyer program, all due to the code RE3, which is a bar to reenlistment. How will they be reinstated with that code on their NG22s, their DD214s? Is the media even remotely covering any of this, or do you have to go to TikTok, of all places, to see the videos of these service members going through this? My heart goes out to all these service members that give up so much so others can sleep well at night. The birthdays we've missed of our children, the births that are missed, the getting the call to be up at the armory with a 4 to 8 hour report time, no matter what you already had potentially planned. There are so many other facets to this. I can't even begin to express them all. I just leave you with this thought. If a quarter of our force here in Virginia is discharged on July 1st, will our force be ready to respond to the next disaster? This is only Virginia, one state. There are 50 states, multiple territories that have a National Guard. Food for thought. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. See you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less.